Hey folks, in this episode I'm going to show you how to make this audio visualizer motion graphic using modifiers and materials. Although it's a fairly simple concept, the final result looks pretty cool. I'll just give you a quick concept overview. We've got two mesh objects. This first mesh object is a glass icosphere, and that has a layered modifier stack. At the top of the stack we've got this displaced modifier, and the coordinates of this is mapped to an empty object called audio add. So if I grab that empty object, I'll just hit G and bring this over here. You can see that the displacement is mapped to the location of this object. I'll mute the glass icosphere. We've then got this inner icosphere. This is the material. Again, this icosphere has a displacement modifier, which is mapped to the empty object audio add. Also, with this object here, both of those empty objects in my outliner are also mapped to the texture coordinate system for the shader editor. So I'll just go into rendered view. I'll then re-enable my glass icosphere. I'll just hit play and you can see what that's doing there. Excellent. So without further ado, let's get to it. I'm going to take my default cube. I'm going to hit delete. I'll also take the default light. I'm going to hit delete. I'll then hit Shift A. We'll go mesh and we'll choose icosphere. I'll then tab into edit mode. I'm going to hit S to enter, and that will scale it up by 2. Tab out of edit mode. I'll hit numpad 7 to go into top view. I'll navigate to my modifiers tab over here. I'll click add modifier. We go to deform and we'll choose displace. I'll click new. I'll then click this button over here and that will take us to the texture slot. I'll change the displacement type from image or movie to clouds. I'll also set the size to, let's say, 0.5. I may adjust this a bit later. I'll then navigate to my modifiers tab over here. I'll then increase the strength to 5. I'll toggle the coordinate system from local to object. And now we just need an object in our scene to bind that to. So I'll hit Shift A, we'll go empty, and we'll choose plane axes. I'll then select the icosphere on my displacement modifier where it says object. I'm going to choose that empty object. I'll then go to my outliner and I'm going to rename the empty object to audio add. I'll go to my 3D viewport, I'll hit G, and you can see that the displacement is mapped to the empty object. While I'm here with that empty object selected, I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate. I'll escape it back in its original location, and in my outliner I'm going to rename this object to audio multiply. I'll then select my icosphere. I'll navigate back to my modifiers panel over here. I'll then click add modifier. We go generate and we'll choose edge split. For the split angle, I'm going to set this to 0 degrees. We'll then go to add modifier, generate, and we'll choose solidify. I'm going to set my thickness to -0.1. I'll also enable even thickness. In my shader editor, I'm going to click this button here and apply the default material. I'll then rename this material to glass. In my 3D viewport, I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate. I'll escape it back in its original location. I'll then go to my modifier stack over here. I'm going to delete the edge split modifier. I'm going to delete the solidify modifier. I'll then click add modifier. We go generate and we'll choose subdivision surface. I'm going to set the levels for the viewport and the render to level 1. In my 3D viewport, I'm going to hit S.5. I'll then hit enter, and with the inner icosphere selected on my shader editor, I'm going to click this free button here and that will make this its own unique material. I'll then rename this to disco. I'll then select this object here, and in my outliner I'm going to rename this object to glass icosphere. I'll then rename the inner icosphere to disco icosphere. Before we move on to the materials, maybe it's a good idea to bring the audio into Blender. I'm going to go to my shader editor and I'm going to change it from shader editor to graph editor. I'm going to ensure that I'm on frame 1. I'll then select the audio multiply empty object. Maybe I'll go into X-ray view just so we can see it. And with your audio multiply empty object selected and your Z location transform set to 0, I'm going to add a keyframe here. I'll then select the audio add empty object. I'm going to ensure that the Z location transform is set to 0 and I'll add a keyframe here. I'll select the audio multiply empty object. I'll navigate to the graph editor and I'll expand the audio multiply action toggle. I'll expand the object transform toggle and I'll select the Z location keyframe. I'll then click channel and we'll select sound to samples. I'm going to be using my own audio track for this. It's a sample loop from a drum and bass track I made. If you haven't got your own music or any beats, I'll leave a link to this drum loops sample pack in the description where you can download it from my Patreon for free. I'm going to be using this Scuffle Break Apart 160 BPM. I'm going to select Scuffle Break Apart 160 BPM. I'm going to keep all the default settings in this filter. I'll then click sound to samples. I'll then go to modifiers. I'll then click add modifier and I'll select smooth Gaussian. I'm going to set the sigma to 0.25 and the filter width to 3. and that will just smooth out the animation. In my outliner, I'm going to select the audio add empty object. I'll then expand the audio add action toggle. I'll expand the object transform, and I'll select the Z location keyframe. I'll then go to channel and we'll select sound to samples. Locate and select your audio track. I'm going to keep the frequency range at default, but this time I'm going to enable accumulate. I'll then click sound to samples. And as you can see, because I enabled accumulate, the graph accumulates and adds over time. I'll then click add modifier and I'll select smooth Gaussian. I'm going to set the sigma to 0.25 and the filter width to 3. I'll then change this window from the graph editor to the shader editor. I'll now toggle off X-ray view. I'll just give us a bit more room. I'm going to hit numpad 1 to go into front view. Maybe we can change the size of the noise texture for the displacement modifier. So I'm going to select this object here, and on the displacement modifier, I'm going to click this button over here, and that will take us to the texture slot, and I'm going to increase the size to 1. I can see that the inner icosphere is protruding outside of the outer icosphere. I don't want that, so with this icosphere selected, I'm just going to hit S, and I'm going to bring this up to around about there. And now, if I were to hit play, you should see that this object deforms because these empty objects are being animated with the audio data. We can't actually hear the audio in Blender, so let's bring that in now. So skip back to frame 1. I'll just increase this window. I'll then change this window from the shader editor to the video sequencer. I'm going to click this icon here to the left of the new button, and I'll select the scene. Hit Shift A and select sound. Navigate and select your audio track, and then click add sound strip. We'll then drag that sound strip down to channel 1, and we'll drag it to the beginning of the timeline. If you zoom out, you can find the end of the sound strip. My audio is 720 frames long, so in the end frame, I'm going to type in 720. I'll now change this window from the video sequencer back to the shader editor. I'm going to select the glass icosphere. I'll hit numpad 7 to go into top view, numpad period, and that will align the view to the selected object. I'll then hit Control Alt numpad 0, and that will align the camera to the view. I'll then select my camera. My focal length is set to 50mm. I'm going to go to my Object Data tab over here. I'll then set the X and Y location transform to 0. And maybe I can set the Z location transform to 25 meters. I'll just hit numpad 1 to go into front view. I'll toggle on rendered view. I'm going to go to my world settings over here, and I'm going to change the strength to 0. In my shader editor, I'm going to change it from object to world. Shift A, go texture, and we'll choose sky texture, and we'll pop that there. I'll then disable the sun disk. I'm going to hit Control T, and that will add a texture coordinate and a mapping node. I'll connect the color socket from the sky texture into the color socket of the background node. I'll then set the background node to 0.01. On the sky texture, I'm going to increase the sun elevation to 90 degrees. I'll then change my shader editor from world to object. I'll then select the outer icosphere object. And with this glass material, I'm going to take the principal BSDF. I'm going to hit delete, hit Shift A, we go shader, and we'll choose glass, and we'll pop that there. I'll then connect the glass BSDF into the surface socket of the material output. To get glass to work in Eevee, we have to do a couple of things. So first off, let's go to the render engine settings. And with Eevee as your render engine selected, ensure that you've got ray tracing enabled. Expand these options. I'm going to increase the resolution to 1/1. I'll then expand screen tracing, and I'm going to turn the precision up to 1. We'll then go to the material tab over here, scroll down and enable ray traced transmission. And the final step we have to do is in your shader editor, hit Shift A and search for value and pop that here. We'll then set the value to 0.1. We'll then connect that value node into the thickness of the material output. And now we should have a transparent glass. On my glass BSDF, I'm going to set the index of refraction to 2. I'll navigate to my outliner, and I'm going to hide the glass icosphere from the viewport. I'll then select the disco icosphere. I'll increase the shader editor window, give us a bit more room. Before we continue, it's a good idea to save your project. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save my project as like and subscribe. Thanks folks, you absolute legends, and then click Save As. In my shader editor, I'm going to take the principal BSDF, I'm going to hit delete, I'll then hit Shift A, we go shader, and we'll choose emission, and I'll pop that there. I'll then connect the emission socket into the surface socket of the material output. We'll then hit Shift A, we go texture, and we'll choose Voronoi texture, and we'll pop that there. I'm going to change it from 3D to 4D. I'll then set the scale to 2. And with the Voronoi texture selected, I'm going to hit Control T, and that will add a texture coordinate and a mapping node. I'm going to swap the generated coordinates with object coordinates, and the object I want to map the textual coordinates to will be the audio add empty object, and that's the empty object which we baked the audio to. I'll then connect the distance socket on the Voronoi texture into the color socket of the emission. We'll then hit Shift A, we go color, and we'll choose color ramp, and we'll pop that in between there. On the color ramp, I'm going to click this plus button twice to add 2 flags. This first flag over here, I'm going to set this to black. This second flag over here, I'm going to set this to a dark blue. This third flag, I'm going to set this to pink. And for this final flag over here, I'm going to set this to a light blue. You don't have to use this exact colour palette, but try and keep a complementary colour palette if you can. I'm going to select this black flag, and I'm going to change the position to 0.55. I'll then select this blue flag, and I'll change the position to 0.45. I'll then select this pink flag, and I'll change the position to 0.4. And maybe I'll just drag this light blue flag across over to around about there. On the colour ramp, I'm going to change the interpolation type from linear to ease. Maybe I could just toggle some of these flags about until I've got a result that I like. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'll just skip back to frame 1. I'm going to hit play just to see what we've got. And if we go into top view, it looks completely different. Excellent. I'll skip back to frame 1. So we're driving the mapping of this Voronoi texture with this audio add empty object. So now let's drive the hues with the same audio empty object. To do that, hit Shift A, we go color and select hue saturation value and pop that in between there. I'm going to change the hue to 0. I'll then hit Shift D to duplicate that node and pop that in between there. We use the same texture coordinates for this audio add empty object. Hit Shift A, go utilities, choose vector, and we'll choose separate XYZ, and I'll pop that there. I'll then connect the object coordinates from the texture coordinate into the vector of the separate XYZ. I'll then connect the Z socket from the separate XYZ into the hue socket of the second hue saturation value node. I'll hit Shift A, we'll go utilities, math, and we'll choose math, and we'll pop that in between there. We'll change it from add to multiply, and I'm going to multiply it by 0.2. Essentially, the value on this multiply node controls the impact of the audio for the hue changes. We've just got a couple more nodes to add. So I'm going to take this texture coordinate, I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate, and I'll pop this down here, just drag this up to there. I'll then select this separate XYZ, I'm going to hold down Shift and select this math node. I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate, and I'll bring this down over to here. I'm going to connect the object coordinates into the vector of the separate XYZ. I'll then connect the value socket from this math node into the randomness socket of the Voronoi texture, and I'm going to set the value to 1. On the texture coordinate node, I'm going to change the mapping to a different object, so I'm going to select that audio multiply. Okay, that should be everything in the shader editor, so I'll just decrease this window. We might need to change the strength of the emission in due course, but for now, that should do. I'll just hit numpad 0 to go into camera view. I'm going to go to my outliner, and I'm going to re-enable the glass icosphere object. I'll then toggle off my overlays. I'll navigate and select my render tab over here. I'll then scroll down and expand the film options. I'm going to toggle on transparent. I'm going to select a random frame, maybe something around there. Maybe I can increase the strength of the emission to 2. I'll then hit F12 and render out a test frame. I'll hit escape to close that window. I'll then navigate to my compositing tab up here, and I'll click new. I'll just grab this render layers. I'm going to hit G and bring this over here to give us a bit more room. I'll hit Shift A, we'll go color, and we'll choose alpha over, and I'll pop that there. I'll then connect this render layers into the bottom socket of the alpha over, and for the top socket, I'm going to set this to black. I'll then hit Shift A, we go filter, and we'll choose glare, and we'll pop that in between there. I'm going to change it from streaks to bloom. I'll expand the highlights options, and I'm going to decrease the threshold to 0.5. I'll then take that glare node, I'm going to hit Ctrl Shift D, and that will duplicate the node whilst maintaining the connection to the previous node. I'll then hit Shift A, we'll go color, and we'll choose mix color, and we'll pop that in between there. We'll then change the mix type from mix to add, and for the second glare node, we're going to change it from bloom to sunbeams, and I'll connect the glare socket into socket B of the mix color node. This mix factor will control the strength of the sunbeams. I'm going to set mine to 1. I'll then go to my layout view. I'll go to my viewport render settings over here. I'll click this button and I'll enable the compositor for the camera. I'll then go back to frame 1. I'm going to hit play just to preview that, just to make sure everything's working and I'm happy with the result. So you can tweak this as much as you want to get a better result. Obviously, this will look better in cycles, but it will take a lot longer to render. So I'll just toggle on cycles, for example. And if you are in cycles, you might want to select your glass object and then go to your modifier stack over here. And then you could add a bevel modifier. So I go to generate and bevel. Maybe I'll just toggle on solid view just so I can set up my bevel modifier. And then go into rendered view. You can see it gives a completely different look. But if you are going to be going with Eevee, so I'll just go back to Eevee. I'd go to your modifiers and I would delete that bevel modifier because that will cause glitches in your render. So I'm just going to select a random frame. I'm going to go with that frame. I'll hit F12 to render out a test frame. Okay, that's looking quite funky. And of course, in the shader editor, if you change this back to world, you can change the strength of the background so you get more reflections or less reflections. I found these settings are pretty good. You might even want to go for an HDR to get a completely different look, but for me, I'm going to keep it at that for now. From here, I'm going to go to my render settings. I'll then toggle on material preview. I'll click these options here. I'm going to enable scene lights and scene world. I'll then hit Ctrl S, and that will save the Blender file with this thumbnail. I'll then go to my output tab over here, go to output and click the folder icon, select a file location where you want to save your image sequence and click accept. Choose the file format of your choice. PNG set to RGB at 8-bit should be absolutely fine, but for me, I'm going to go with a file format of OpenEXR with a codec of DWAA lossy, and that will decrease my file size whilst increasing dynamic range for post-production. Hit Ctrl S to save the project, and then it's simply a case of hitting Ctrl F12, and that will render out your image sequence. You'd then take that image sequence into a video editor of your choice. I use DaVinci Resolve, drag in the audio into your video editor, and then render it out as an MPEG-4. If you enjoyed this episode, click this next video to dive deeper. Stay sharp, have a great day, and level up.